Hey everyone, it's hyperburning time, so I wanted to make a guide on bonus EXP and Mesos. I'll also briefly talk about Legion, Hyperstat, and Link skill setup for training to help you out with your grinding, make it a little bit easier on you. So all of this information is going to be in the description, so if you want to skip watching this video, I don't know how long this is going to be, feel free, I won't be offended, don't worry about it. So let's start with the cash shop 2x ticket. It is either a 4-hour or a 24-hour version. It does not literally double your EXP, it just gives you 100% bonus EXP additive. You can buy that with NX, real money, or you can buy a 24-hour version, not a 4-hour version, unfortunately, with reward points that you get from your daily bosses or monster collection or whatever. So good to get that before you start training if you got NX or reward points to spend. Then we've also got link skills that give training benefits for EXP and such. So Mercedes link skill at level 210 Mercedes, you'll get 20% additional EXP. I think at level 70 you already get 10% EXP, and 15% is at level 120. So good to even just get a Mercedes up there. That's just flat EXP that you just get. It's really nice. Evan's link skill is awesome. This nearly doubles the amount of time that your rune will last. Rune is a 100% additive EXP buff, so having that last longer is of course going to be better. And then one that's like kind of better for lower level, but EXP is the Aran link skill. At level 210 it will give you 900% extra combo orb EXP, which you notice it a lot more at lower levels, but if you have a link skill slot and you have an Aran with the link skill, you may as well put it on for EXP stacking here. Now there's also hyper stats. I have a specific preset for training and bossing. Right now I have my bossing one on, so we'll look at my training one. You can get up to 10% EXP for maxing out the hyper stat for that, which is really, really nice. Would definitely recommend setting up a preset just for that. There's also Pendant of the Spirit. There are special Pendants of the Spirit that you can extend with hourglasses in the cash shop, so they never expire pretty much. It's pretty free. And you get 10%, 20%, 30% EXP depending on how many hours you've had it equipped. It starts at 10%, so already we're stacking EXP, really, really great. There are event Pendants of Spirit that just already start at 30% EXP. So that's also a nice little pendant to equip for some extra EXP. We also have Holy Symbol. Whether you're a bishop or any other class, you can get this 5th job skill for decent Holy Symbol. And that gives you 35% EXP, 24% drop rate, which is also kind of nice to have along with the EXP when it's maxed out. Even at level 1, it gives you 20% EXP and 14% drop rate, so it's already like really, really good. And you can add it to your pet's auto buff. So definitely consider that if you don't want to cast it all the time for your pet auto buff. Now, if you're a pirate, you have the additional option of rolling your dice for 6s. I know there's a 5th job skill called Loaded Dice that you can have it just always roll a 6, at least for like my arc. That was really handy to have, and for my jet. There's also now consumable items you can use. So there's a just regular ass EXP ticket. You can get them from Sunday Monster Park boxes. You can get them from the Legion shop. You can get 10-minute, 20-minute, and 30-minute versions, 10 of each for every single week. They're a little bit less coin efficient for the less duration that you choose, but I mean, 5 hours of 30-minute coupons is pretty good. Most people probably won't grind for more than 5 hours a week if I had to guess. That's a lot of grinding, but you have this option here for buying the rest out if you need them. You can also get those tickets from dojo if you have dojo points. I wouldn't recommend that because you can buy Mugong's Honor instead to sell for a lot of money. And there's also the event shop going on, at least right now, where you can get 2 15-minute EXP tickets every single day. That refreshes every day. So that's one consumable slot. And then the next slot that stacks with that is either a 50% bonus EXP ticket coupon here, or an MVP bonus EXP ticket. You can buy these in the auction house. I would just search for the term bonus EXP and sort by price and just buy whatever's cheaper, because for some reason the prices on MVPs and these regular bonus EXPs does vary. I'm not really clear on why they're not the same price, but it is what it is. But that will also stack with your other EXP ticket in your consumable slot there. Then we've got the 10% golden potion from Monster Park. These cost 10 Monster Park coins. They last for 30 minutes. Really, really nice. Also, you might consider, if your class needs it, a green potion for extra attack speed or a red or blue potion for extra damage, just to help you clear out mobs. There's also, of course, the guild atmospheric effect for 30 attack or magic attack if you're in a guild and you have that skill maxed out in it, which can also help you with training. There's also EXP accumulation potions. You have a 2-hour version and a 30-minute version. Both can be bought in the auction house. You can only craft the 2-hour version. The smaller one is only dropped from bosses, so you can use one or the other of these guys here. What else do we have for EXP here? So Legion, there's the obvious bonus EXP grid here that will give you up to 10% EXP. There's also, if you have a 0 character, 0's Legion blocks, if you add the 0 to the grid, will give you 10% EXP at level 200. It's really worth making a 0. I know struggling through the story is a pain in the ass, but that 10% EXP is just something you'll always have once you do it once. Really, really recommend that. Now, you can also have a custom title. I do not currently have a custom title, but what a custom title does is you combine it with one of your other titles, and not only do you get the stats of that other title, but you also get 10% bonus EXP. So if you've got a custom title around, that's something that you can add to all of this EXP stacking. There's another 5th job thing that you can do for EXP stacking. I recommend the character building 1 node. So whenever you get attacked 100 times, you just get 50% EXP for 20 seconds, and that's usually pretty doable in the 30-second limit here. You won't really notice this buff too much unless you're looking at the top right, because it just kind of goes off automatically. But since most maps you're going to be, at least in regular server, training, I assume, with Frenzy Totem, there's going to be a lot of mobs stacking and hitting you. So this is a recommended rune if you are in a zone with a ton of mobs, because that extra 50% is just so sweet. Now there's also the home EXP buff if you've been doing the home system. So you just talk to your dude or your dudette, you click on the receive buff button, and I've already gotten my buff for today, so I can't show it off right now, but there is an option for bonus EXP. You can only get this once a day, so this is like at the start of your training session, you would get your home buff and then go to your map. But it is another 15% that stacks with everything else. Really, really nice. And then there's the Ring of Torment, which is a, like, I believe it's from Marvel. I don't think it's from Philo Books or those other gacha lottery things. But it's, I just checked the auction house, it's 100 bill right now in Bara. Not worth the Mesos, but if you're gonna wail on getting EXP, get a Ring of Torment, but I wouldn't get a Ring of Torment. Now, sometimes event buffs will also have a slot for EXP. So if you want to get EXP obtained in the Wongsteront event, which is the one that's going on right now, you can certainly level up that EXP. That'll stack with everything, and it's passive and permanent until the event is over. You don't have to click anything to get it. That's super nice. And now this is definitely also in the min-maxi territory like Ring of Torment, but in Monster Life, if you've been doing Monster Life or haven't been doing Monster Life, there are monsters you can get in Monster Life that give you bonus EXP. So if you're into that space, you can get a Lil Mercedes or a Lil Orchid. Both will give you 3% each. Is it worth the time investment? It takes a very long time to get that high in Monster Life to where you can combine those monsters effectively every time that you need them, because they do expire. So I would just say maybe hold off on Monster Life, but that is another thing that you could do. So that's EXP. We did EXP. There's a lot. There's so much shit. I wish they would just like condense it and consolidate it all into like a single item that gives you like 500% bonus EXP or whatever the total amounts to, but it is what it is. There's just so much shit in this game that I figure I would list it all out. Now you can also stack Meso. So Meso, when you're training, if you want to pay for that frenzy service or buy a new gear or whatever, Meso farming is a thing. Now, in order to have a Meso bag drop 100% of the time, you need to have at least 66-ish% drop rate. So that amounts to some amount of holy symbol, and you could also get a Legion luck coupon to increase your item drop rate, but you have a limited amount of those. What I would recommend is you get a drop familiar. A regular increases item drop rate line, not a shared increases item drop and Meso drop at the same time. That's a little bit reduced in power. Just a regular item drop line increases your item drop percent by 50%. If you manage to get a large amount one, that is 100%, and at that point, you will always get a Meso bag. There's also familiars with increases Meso drop rate, which specifically affects the drop rate of the Meso bag. Again, the regular single line of normal Meso drop rate will probably get you there with Holy Symbol. Large Meso just guarantees it. So if you're looking for making sure all of the Meso bags drop from all of the monsters, make sure you have that drop rate going. And then you can have up to 100% Meso on gear lines. So 20% is what you'll get on a typical legendary line here, so you'll need 5 pieces of equipment to get up to that 100%. You can also, what stacks, get in your Legion the Phantom blocks. So if your Phantom is on the grid, you get 4% Mesos at level 200. That's just something that you get. That's just there forever if you have that Phantom to 200. Now, you can also use a wealth acquisition potion, which gives you not just Meso drop rate, but also item drop rate for 2 hours by 20%. That item drop rate is often missed with this item, but it does do both. It does affect your stat window. And if you're an alchemist now, you can use an EXP and a wealth potion at the same time. There is that note saying you can only have one of these active at a time unless you're an alchemist. So if you're training a lot, and I train a lot typically, I usually turn all my mules into alchemists just so I can stack those potions like that. It's really, really handy. So there's a little bit more Meso stacking we can do. In the Legion shop, there are Legion wealth coupons, and those will give you an additional 50% Meso gain. And again, in Monster Life, there's a little bit of min-maxy stuff, although it's a little bit less min-maxy than the EXP stacking versions. You can get 4% bonus Mesos from the Thieving Moon Bunny if you're in that space. You can also get 1% to 7% depending on the tier of the toy monster you get in Monster Life. Toy monsters are not too terribly hard to come by, so consider that if you haven't gotten into Monster Life or you're in it and you just don't have a toy yet. Now, there's also a way to increase your drop rate with Monster Life. You can get an Erda monster, which was another 1% to 7% drop rate depending on its tier, but again, kind of optional. You're pretty much covered with Holy Symbol and a regular familiar or a Legion luck coupon, or you could even have drop gear. Like I usually have a piece of drop gear or 2 on with these event rings when I'm training if I need to just get that extra percentage going. Now, auto steal for Mesos. You'll see auto steal here or there on equipment. You can get auto steal percent lines on familiars. To make a long story short, it's not really worth the investment, so don't worry about auto steal. Unless they buff it, it's just kind of in a weird spot right now, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. So Congratulations, that's Meso stacking. Little golf clap. And now let's talk about our link skills, legion, and hyperstat setup. So I already briefly showed you all of these things, but a little bit more in detail here. What you want to go for obviously is the bonus EXP, but normal monster damage will help you kill stuff so good. I recommend you put a lot of points into normal monster damage. Now, 200 to 250, you might want to not go all the way past to level 15 because it just starts costing a ton of points to get it up there. Level 10 is honestly a pretty good spot for point efficiency. So get normal monster damage, you'll feel the difference, it's quite nice. Get your bonus EXP, of course. Damage percent is also quite good. Critical damage is excellent, especially if you have managed to get 100% crit rate. And then with whatever other points you might get for your training setup, go ahead and put it in attack power and your main stat, in my case it's strength. That'll just push you over the limit sometimes to one-shot enemies, which is usually the goal. So there's your hyper stats. Let's talk about Legion, which we briefly saw. So I'll make a separate video more in detail about Legion, but the TLDR here is you want the bonus EXP and the normal monster damage. If you've got enough dudes to sit on your grid, go for the crit damage as well. I would prioritize bonus EXP, normal damage, crit rate if you need it in order to get to 100%, and then critical damage after that, because critical damage is only good if you are critting, so make sure you've got that critical rate. And again, this is a lot of normal monster damage. It's up to 40% if you max out this normal monster damage grid. It's just so good. If you're training up there, you'll do a lot more damage to those mobs. And now we've got link skill setup. So usually when I train, in addition to the Aran, Mercedes, and Evan link skills, I'll have training link skills on. Probably one of the most important ones is Bravado. Bravado is a Ho Young link skill. It only goes up to level 2, so level 120 and you got it on a Ho Young. The enemy defense ignored is like whatever, but what you really are looking for here is the damage plus 14% against enemies with 100% HP. If you're one-shotting mobs, or just barely not one-shotting mobs, Ho Young's link skill could push you over the top. Because once mobs spawn, of course, they have 100% HP, you're going to do that bonus damage. Bravado is really good. And otherwise, I have a bunch of skills that just boost my damage. We have Elementalism, which is Kana's currently, until they decide to delete it, of course. Fingers crossed they don't. Critical damage percent, if you have a lot of crit rate, is good. It is from Kinesis. Nature's Friend just gives you flat damage percent and additional damage percent against monsters every so often. That's Lara. Solace is if you are in combat, it gives you damage percent, which when you're training you are in combat. Tide of Battle is the same thing as Solace, except are you moving around on the map, then Tide of Battle will activate and give you damage percent. Tide of Battle is weird and sometimes won't keep stacking if you are standing in one spot mostly, so don't take that if you're just doing like a lazy train, because sometimes that just doesn't go off. Unfair Advantage is awesome. Oh, by the way, Solace and Tide of Battle are Arc and Ilium. Unfair Advantage is Cadena, and it only really works against monsters lower level than you, so you have to be one level higher than the monster to get this 6% bonus damage here. You won't really get the Afflicted by Abnormal Status damage unless you're 2 or 3-shotting or just bossing and the boss has a status on it, because if you're one-shotting you'll mostly just get that 6%, which is quite nice. And then you have Demon Avenger, the Desperado user. Wild Rage gives you 15% just flat damage at level 3 link skill here. It gives 10% if you just get it to level 120 instead of 210, so consider that. There are additional crit rate skills, all of the hunters, so Bowman, Crossbowman, and Ancient Bowman, Pathfinder. Boy, I couldn't remember that. And then also Beast Tamer, if you've got one, will give you crit rate as well if you need additional crit rates. Phantom gives you crit rate if you need crit rates. It gives 15% at level 120. I have it to 210, so it gives me 20%. So just other skills that will help you get pushed over the top here. And really, that's about it. Sorry this video was so long. I hope that you skipped it and just read the description. There's just so much shit in this game that it takes that long to explain it all. And I wish it wasn't that way, but it is what it is, right? So we're all in it here together, and I hope this was helpful. Please refer to the description. It'll have all this information copy-pasted, and you won't have to listen to my word scramble. And I will see you in the next video. Hope that helped, everybody. Have a good day.